Alright, so this little speedrun has a couple moving parts here. Being sure that everything's looking good. Alright, perfect. It's pretty simple. Alright, so anyways, you guys ready to start?
Sure.
Yeah.
I guess we do a roll call.
Yep.
Alrighty. So, first player, Lanturn88. I will be playing mainly Soma throughout the whole entire thing with a little bit of Jonathan.
I'm Turbodog702. I'm going to be probably the person switching the most. I'm going to be playing Julius, Soma, Jonathan, Shinoa.
I'm Kai. I'm third player slot. I'll be doing Soma and Julius.
Alright, and we'll be switching off characters depending on what we want to do for each individual chapter. This is going to be a 1 to 11 hard mode attempt that we're going to do here. A couple interesting things regarding CVHD. So CVHD you can think of as a kind of like an MMO in a way. You can have up to 6 people in a team. For the purposes of a speedrun, anything more than 3 costs you time. It's very much like a greatest hits of the Castlevania games. You're going to see stages kind of stitched together from all over the Metroidvania part of the series, and even an appearance by a CV1 stage. Generally, the objective is to reach a final boss of a stage, kill it, and then loot the treasure chest, although we'll have different objectives to get to that goal. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the basic rundown for this game, and we'll kind of discuss things as we get to them.
Just to add on one more thing, we're doing a New Game Plus run, which means we start with all the gear we've been able to collect from playing the game, so I'm going to be starting with the most powerful weapons in the game, pretty much, the Valman ways, and we'll just be rolling through them all like crazy fast, hopefully.
So, Lanturn also purposely got rid of his DLC for Julius, so if you ever see an axe armor running around, that's Julius. So,
Purposely got rid of his DLC?
shh, it's okay. It's fine.
Blame him if you don't hear Omnia.
Yeah.
Well, so first stage is probably going to be one of the most problematic. It's very, very skill intensive. A lot of things can go wrong as far as cycles for getting to the boss, which is Gurgoth at the end. If we want to get started up,
Alrighty.
you need a countdown for him.
Yep, countdown for me, please.
You want me to count down? Sure.
One
I'll
of
do
you
it.
guys.
I'll do
You're
it.
starting.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right.
Welcome to the disaster.
So right now, Lanturn and Epica are going to be racing their way over to the boss. I'm going to attempt to, and once I fail, I'm going to meet them at the bottom for the second phase of the boss. This can potentially be a very fast level. It's just a lot of things can go wrong with the cycles of pendulums in it, as you can see. So,
And
we're going to be taking slightly varying paths here to reach our destination.
I'm mostly taking the left path because I have a ability called the York, and that lets me basically throw a skull out, and I can just jump right off it to basically get to high places without much effort. And that puts me up pretty far ahead in the level.
And Julius has access to an ability called Omnia Vanitas. It moves relatively quickly, but slows down at the end. During Omnia, Julius is 100% invincible. It's a very, very powerful tool, but it does slow down at the end. Because of this, you can actually do a technique called Omnia Canceling, which allows you to cut off the recovery frames of it and immediately Omnia again. It's really quite difficult to do, even on the slower version of it. And there is a faster way to do it, but only probably 4 people in the world do it. And it takes quite a while for it to actually make up.
This lag.
As you can see, Gurgoth falls pretty quickly due to the power of the Valman Way that Sona has, and then I'm basically just there for support damage. For Chapter 2, we're going to be following Julius. Being Player 2, I start in the upper left portion of the stage. I'm going to use this positional advantage to attempt to get a clip. The clip is going to use a demon to try and force me through a wall and through a door so that it doesn't need to be opened. Kai is going to be switching to Julius, and he's going to be a backup plan to get me through the door in case the demon doesn't boost me through quickly. In a 2-player run, this actually can save quite a bit of time. In a 3-player run, it can save a little, but not as much. Meanwhile, Lanturn is going to stay near the boss door for when we actually open up the switch, whether we get the clip or not.
Yeah. So over down on the bottom right side, what we're going to be doing off screen, or in the mini screen, is we're working our way up. Kai is going to head to a little switch that'll make it so if the demon skip doesn't work, we'll still have a backup and be able to get it in a reasonable amount of time. We'll still be a little bit behind, but we'll be able to get it at least. We're also going to be jumping through a bunch of fires and stuff like that. I use Puppet Master to place myself on the left side of the fire so I get sent to the left. And now you can just see Kai working his way up towards the switch over here.
Okay, I got the zip.
Okay. So now...
Right, so I get to open this up, and Kai can immediately go to the boss door, and you'll see them below me actually taking it out. I'll center the screen on them so you can see.
So one of the other things that makes Soma so powerful is his ability to hover. Usually if bosses are up in midair, that means I can just attack them non-stop like I'm doing right now. And yeah, that lets you do maximum DPS. And what we saw there was just people dying, Axe Armors dying, and the Iron Maidens.
Nothing
Nothing happened.
Alright, so stage 3, we're going to be following me very, very briefly at the beginning of this. What happens is stage 3 are intended to go all around the stage, cycling through kind of like a mini maze of blocks until you reach the boss, who then like kind of destroys the stage and you attack him in like this multi-tiered boss fight. We're going to bypass most of that using a precise knife throw or sub-weapon move. We can throw a dagger and actually trigger the boss much earlier than intended. Daggers are off and they're hidden. So if you follow the rest of them now, they're going to be using Yorks to climb into position. And once they climb into position to fight the boss at his weak points, they are going to need to be very careful about their positioning and use Medusa in order to float in air, as mentioned before. A big part of this game, as with many Metroidvanias, is gating off progress from height.
There we go.
But the thing is one of the best ways to gain height in this game is to use dive kicks.
You guys have to grab the
enemies.
chest. Thank you.
One of the best ways to gate off progress is to use dive kick, or is to gain height. And one of the best ways to gain height is to dive kick off of enemies. For Soma, he actually gets an advantage in that he doesn't need to dive kick off of enemies. He can create his own dive kick platforms in the form of Yorick Skulls. I'm going to be switching over to Soma here, since I am going to be trying to assist with the help on the boss. At the beginning, I'm going to be firing a Gurgoth Soul to be able to clear the lower platform. And that's just going to allow an open area for Lanturn and Kai to be able to move freely towards the boss. So they're going to be the guys to watch here. This stage is heavily broken by the Yorick dive kick kind of boost.
So, if you look over at my screen here, I'm actually doing something called a wide angle. Yeah, wide angle, whatever kick.
Dive kick.
That just lets me move a bit more to the right whenever I'm doing dive kicks, which is pretty much the fastest mode of transportation for Soma.
You'll see sometimes we'll be dive kicking. Dive kicking is in general just the fastest, a little faster than running for normal characters. You will also see us very, very often trying to dive kick near a corner. And what we're attempting to do there is called a corner boost. If you hit a dive kick near a corner, you can kind of carry over a huge amount of momentum forward off of the dive kick. And it's a huge momentum boost for being able to cross vast quantities of the stage.
Oh, by the way, that was
so
chapter 4.
Kai's gonna be the guy to watch on this one. He's gonna start in a very, very strong place, being the player 3 slot. It's going to allow him to reach the boss death, presumably much, much faster than me or Lanturn.
If not, then Turbo and I have to use a trick known as Yorick climbing, which is actually pretty interesting to watch, but we can screw that up pretty easy ourselves. Especially if the harpies aren't cooperating.
And And if it seems like we're talking a lot during this, that's because, yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
And it's
I got
pretty
hit
fast.
by a Gurkha Master, so I just got KO'd.
Oh,
Are you
lovely.
going to clear the imp? I'll clear him.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Uh,
I wasn't thinking
So,
about him there.
unfortunately, Kai got picked off by basically the one bit of RNG that can crush you as player 3, which is if the Gurkha Master decides to throw his attack very, very quickly,
I got picked off by a
then,
harpy there.
you can be in trouble.
So besides
So
the
it's
Valkyrie
kind of
race-
up to me now, I guess, to die here.
besides
Very
the
important that
Valkyrie
we
race,
picked off Death here within 1 minute. If you do not hit him within 1 minute, then he basically goes into a phase where he can't be damaged. I kind of played that a little risky. I should have just floated.
So I died in 1 hit because I'm wearing the Berserker mail. We all are as Soma.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
I guess we could kind of talk about Berserker Mail. Stage 6, I'm going to be playing as Jonathan to attempt to get a zip to the end of the stage. They're going to be going through normally. They're going to be probably the guys to watch, but if you want to watch me for the first little bit, then you can give it a shot. Alright. But, so Berserker Mail, Kai mentioned, it's an armor. It allows you to do 150% damage. But you also basically die in 1 to 4 hits, depending on what hits you. For bosses, it means you basically get hit once you die. Because of that, it would be optimal to use Berserker Mail whenever possible. But for the sake of marathons and consistent RTA runs, we will be switching to other armors on some stages.
safety first.
Yeah. That fireball.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just running through the stage normally here. Just like any old person would. Trying to go a little bit fast. And there's a few little techniques I can do. Like I can dive through platforms to appear on the other side of them, which is what I'm going to do right at this very moment. That's kind of cool.
So I'm not getting the zip immediately, so they're going to be the guys to watch here.
And yeah,
So there's this really dumb glitch that happens where Drac disappears if you're not the host. You want to talk about that one, Lanturn?
they'll maybe see it when it comes up. But basically, in the 360 version, there is a chance the boss can despawn for other players that aren't the host, which I am actually right now. So we'll see that event on Turbo's screen if he manages to get up
If
here.
I manage to make it up. You might be wondering why am I trying to go for this glitch if it's so inconsistent, and that's just because I can start the boss much faster, and even if I don't end up killing the boss completely, I can get him through some of his transitional phases, which take time.
Alright, I'm in the boss room now. So this first form will appear for everybody, so that's why Turbo's trying to make it up here. So he can actually kill the first form before I even get up to here. I'm just basically the safety for this whole thing.
Hey, I can see him. Cool.
Oh, we do have a live boss. There you go, marathon luck.
During practice, I only saw him once for 3 hours.
But yeah, here's another Valmamway plus Medusa head just floating in midair and absolutely destroying Drac. And as you can see, Kai over here, he's doing Omnia Vanitas, which luckily you can't hear it on the screen right now.
How dare you delete your DLC?
You take this. Crap.
So Chapter 7 is a pyramid, and we each start on different sides of the screen. For the sake of marathon, we're going to be doing a more conservative strat, but it's still pretty quick. I will be switching over to Shinoa. There are magnets which Shinoa and Julius can climb in order to scale the pyramid faster. My goal is to reach a switch in the middle of the pyramid. In order to make it to that switch, another character has to be kind of on the left side of the switch, pressing on a button that opens a door. That door is the only thing blocking me from gaining access to that switch. which is why I need somebody to open it. Meanwhile, Lanturn is going to be waiting near an elevator that gets turned on by the switch that I'm making. That elevator leads to the box. So we're basically going to be following me just for a little bit, and then once we pull the switch, we're going to be checking in on Lanturn, who will hopefully destroy this boss before we even get close.
So,
Lanturn, you want to cover Astart's weakness?
yes, holy, holy damage. I'm going to be using a few techniques here. The first thing you know is I'm glowing purple right now. I'm actually wearing an item called the Fool's Tablet. 2 copies of them, to be honest. They boost my intellect a lot, and that'll let me do a lot more damage to them. I'm also wearing Berserker Mail, so that'll scale the damage crazy amounts. So for a start, yeah, she's weak to basically anything holy, anything blunt. One technique I'm using right now is something called slot rotation. It basically is I'm throwing 3 different copies of the same item with different commands. This is not good.
Oh, crap.
That is really not good. I was not focused.
Yep.
Okay, I got a water, and I got acid bounce.
So that's
Who's coming out?
I'll come out.
You come out too, Kai. Okay.
So that's one thing, is that she can charm you if you're a boy, and you're pretty much
Which is the
screwed.
reason why I'm Shinoa. Basically, as the Batman. Nice.
I forgot.
So,
slot rotation.
if we do well, she should die pretty quickly, because Holy Water just does a number on her.
Yeah.
So Lanturn was mentioning slot rotation. The other major trick that we have is called backdash canceling. And what you can do is certain sub-weapons can be backdash canceled. And that allows them to be thrown very, very fast. That's the basic concept of it.
You might have
however,
saw a good
for
example
many-
of it. You probably saw a good example of it on Chapter 2, when they're throwing all the daggers at the Puppet Master there.
Yeah. It's a very, very powerful technique, but it has its downsides. Most weapons in the game, if you BDC them, only the first instance, like the very first one of the move, will do damage. And that's where that slot rotation that Lanturn mentioned comes into play. By making multiple instances of the same sub-weapon, you can bypass that limitation. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to be trying to use Dracula Soul to pull an Ice Demon over there. And it's going to be a similar clip to what we saw inside of Chapter 2. I'm going to be attempting to use the Ice Demon to push me through this wall. It does rely on a little bit of luck on the Ice Demon giving me an appropriate pattern.
So over on Kai's side, he's just making his way to a switch that'll open the boss door. What I'm doing is I just have my full damage gear on, so I'm going to be the one actually killing the boss. And yeah, Turbo's trying to get the switch so we can progress further. But
Yeah,
unfortunately, he's
cooperating
being a
very
jerk.
well.
So as you can see there, Kai just hit the switch.
And that's the problem, is sometimes even when he does the move I want him to, it doesn't mean that he will necessarily push me through. Our extreme backup here is if once Kai pulls the boss switch, he can always make it over to the switch I'm trying to initiate here, and it looks like he might actually beat me. Alright, I got in a little bit faster, but not much. So that's unfortunate, but that is kind of the gamble that we take with the strat we're using. I'm going to shoot Gurgoth here to clear a path for the both of them.
I'm just chucking knives to clear whatever doesn't get hit.
So we're going to see another stage where Retro Medusa is going to be very powerful for fighting the boss. That's kind of one of the big differences between Soma and Alucard. While they have similar gear, the two big standouts for Soma are his ability to float with Retro Medusa and the ability to create dive kick platforms with Yorick. There are other things he can do as well, but like those are the two ones that really make him stand apart from Alucard specifically.
That, and he has a little bit more strength as well, and especially for Valmamwe, which has a pretty low attack power, all the strength and attack power adds up through all of his gear and stats.
Alright, Chapter 9.
This is probably the stage most of you will recognize if you're a big Soden fan.
So this is presumably an easy stage, but still pretty dangerous just because we are all running Berserker. Kai is going to go for Magic Carpet, which is a strat that you basically use your arcs to climb all the way up and bypass a climbing section. He's going to fail it.
He's definitely going to fail it.
Especially since I doubt that he prepared himself with mana prisms. Yep, didn't.
Nope.
Yeah, in order to do that strategy, you need to have access to more than one mana bar. So, I don't know if you knew that or not. Or if
I
he was
did.
just trying to show off. But,
I got bored.
Alright, so since Lanturn is in the lead, he's actually going to go down a side path. That side path has a door that needs to be opened before you can reach the boss. Me and Kai are going to be going down that path. We are also going to be kind of not really worrying about the Gaibons here. Normally, wow, unless he completely blocks me like this. Because
I got the switch.
Because Lanturn's a jerk, obviously.
Yeah, I just run right through them.
Right.
Oh,
But yeah, you, no, we wanted to run right through them, but they just pathed badly, basically.
go left. Yeah, I get that. Okay, good.
Alright.
No, I
Gotcha.
went the fire one and pulled that. That's what I meant, sorry.
Alright, so now we're going to be fighting Beezy. Beelzebub pretty easy with this set of characters. We need to clear his fly shield, but then after that, Zalman Way plus
Zalman Way plus 6.
Melted.
So Chapter 10 is a CV1 classic stage. You're going to see none of it, basically. There are many stages inside of this game that have full chapter skips, basically. This is one of them. We do need to modify our build slightly here. We need to switch to Muramasa rather than Valman Way. That is due to the fact that Retro Dracula has invincibility frames after each hit. Muramasa will do the most damage per hit, so we are trying to use that to our advantage. Another thing we're going to be doing double backdash canceling, which is going to allow us to bypass the invincibility frames for the single instance of Muramasa, so we can actually output more damage. I'm going to be blowing a food item called a beef curry once I go up. Beef curry increases your strength by, I believe, 15 or 25. A large amount, basically, and amplifies your damage quite a bit. The skip that we're going to be doing here is a acceleration glitch using Puppet Master. I mentioned corner boosting. If you kind of do something similar to corner boosting, you can actually cause the game to kind of freak out about what it should be doing with your character's positioning in the stage.
There we go.
And that allows you to fly up, like Lanturn just did.
And that puts you right inside the boss room. So I'm ready to start it. So you may notice me crouching a bunch. That's the double backdash cancel Turbo was talking about. It lets me hit with both my weapons very quickly, and I'm alternating between them because each weapon does have a slight cooldown before they can hit again. And if you notice, I did change my armor to Ancient Armor, which allows you to only take 20% of your max HP in damage, so that lets you get about 5 to 6 hits before you die.
Yeah, it depends on how your HP is split up.
Yeah, it's just basically safety for this, especially because this guy is a jerk, and he is known to kill. He's one of the bosses that will kill you in one hit, no matter what. But he still goes down pretty quickly.
Even without Berserker Mail, he will still basically be able to kill you in like 2 hits. Sometimes even 1, depending on what you're wearing. So we're on the last stage here. Time should be coming up in probably about 2.5 minutes.
All right.
The last stage, we're going to have an interesting setup.
I need to set up.
So the last stage is very different than the ones we've been doing thus far. In this particular stage, I'm going to mess up menuing, which is important to mention. But the main thing here is that there are 3 bosses. Defeating those 3 bosses unlock the 3 doors that lead to the final boss. So what's going to happen is I am going to be opening one of the doors that leads to one of those bosses and then rushing to the final boss door. My other 2 companions are going to be running around the stage defeating the 3 bosses needed to unlock the gates to the final boss. So for the most part, you're going to be following Epic High and Lanturn as they hit the bosses in question.
As we work our way up. I took that one a bit too safe. I could have easily made it past that.
So how many times do you figure you guys farmed the stage for Muramasa?
Ooh.
On
700.
probably specifically for Muramasa or just in general?
Well, in general,
Specifically for
like,
Muramasa, probably about 900. In general, probably about 2,000, maybe.
It's a lot.
Yeah, so eventually in this game, like, there comes a point where farming, you're basically speedrunning. Like, you have to do so many repeats of a stage that you just learn to do it more efficiently and faster. You're still going to err on safety just to make sure you do complete stages, but, you know, for the most part, you're going to actively be tempting to complete stages as quick as possible to get the most drop choices as possible.
That was unfortunate. I'm still good, though.
I guess we can kind of talk a little bit about what makes this an MMO. So we mentioned that there's a team dynamic. It is connectable online. There is local play on PS3, but it's not good. Don't do it. The other thing is that contents of chests are randomized to some extent. There is a drop pool for each chapter, but what you get on each stage, as far as we can tell at this point, is completely random. We've been spending a little bit of time trying to learn a little bit more about how drops work in it, but it's a long process. So I'm coming into the final boss here. This final boss has 3 forms. This is the first form, easily dominated by Valmanway. Second form's going to be pretty similar. I'm choosing to float here as a safety measure. That floating allows me to dodge a high knife that he can throw. And this is Ryuko's third form. What we need is we need for him to punch, and when he punches, he will actually access his heart, and him opening up his heart allows us to deal damage like that. We need him to do that about 3 more times, give or take.
There we go.
We got it. Excellent. That was a pretty good pattern.
So-
Sometimes he can completely destroy you, and it can take
Time's
minutes.
coming up.
Not
That's
bad.
time.
Not bad.
All right, good run, guys.
But yeah, you can get just completely destroyed by him if he wants to. That was a pretty decent run. We had a couple of hiccups here and there. There are people that are way better at this game and speedrunning it than we are. But, you know, we'd like to show this off as kind of a community effort thing. We have a community Discord that we make available to people, even if you're playing casually or speedrunning. You can feel free to look it up. We do have a couple of restrictions for newcomers. Just bear with it. Once you get into a couple of groups, then you'll definitely be able to pick up groups and see what's happening. And we have people that play on both PS3 and 360, so feel free to check that out. It's on speedrun.com if you're interested. But we try to help out people and get geared up as much as we can and have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
How are we doing on getting ready? Did we want to...
Yeah, do you
Hop
want
straight in
to
on
show
seven,
off a
or-
couple things? Or
Guys,
yeah?
what you guys can show off a few things. I'm gonna get the next runner set up. So yeah.
All right.
what did we want to try to show off?
Crash the game.
Well, we'll do that last. Early start, I guess. That doesn't take too long to set up, I guess.
Let me see. Let me look at chapters here.
Chapter 4 early start would be easier.
We could try... And we actually got to show quite a bit of things here.
Yeah.
Do we want to do...
Well, we could try doing the piano thing, or do you want to even bother with that?
Nah, that's fine.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, let's do... Let's try and Johnny Zip 7.
Sure, we could do that.
So this is a strategy that that's possible on 7. You guys can go Johnny also. If you want to do it.
Yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll early start the thing afterwards, so we could show that off as well.
So this is a strategy that's pretty risky whenever you want to try and attempt it. I tried it in Chapter 6 to pretty bad results. But it's called Sonic Zipping. Basically, we mentioned the reverse acceleration glitch in Chapter 10 that made us fly to the ending boss. You can do that using Sonic Strike with Jonathan at the edge of platforms, and it can have similar effects. The one downside to this is that because of kind of how Sonic Strike works, it's extremely inconsistent. Like, you can do things to make it better, but it's never going to be one of those things that always happens, just because you'll never have a good, consistent setup for it. So what we're going to try to do, I'm at this place first, so I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah, I have to climb over top. Kai's also attempting another zip, but it's extremely difficult and requires you to do down kick.
Some really stupid things with your joystick.
Yeah.
Alright, I got the zip.
So yeah, he's in.
That allows me to bypass to the top of the elevator, which was the elevator that I originally had turned on with Shinoa. But that allows you to basically immediately get to a start, where I will promptly die. Which this is another reason why I don't do this strat, because I'm really bad at fighting a start, as I just got charmed by the back end of it. Excellent. So I should have gotten through that, but that's probably netcode latency. So forward roll is invincible, and it's supposed to be invincible to projectiles. However, I basically caught the very back end of one of the hearts, and so because of that, instead of invincing through it, the netcode basically said, yeah, you got hit and charmed.
Okay.
Which is why I don't do Johnny.
I guess
why I don't feel
we can't set it up, can we, with you dead? That sucks.
It's alright.
Alright.
Basic concept. We can just kind of talk about it. If you access the menu in the grimoire with certain abilities, like kind of proc them at the same time, it allows you to move during the startup of a stage, which is kind of cool. It's not.
Yeah.
It's useful in a couple stages, but not too many.
The basic idea is if your character has a special right bumper ability, like Soma's hovering or Johnny's guard, they'll be able to do the glitch. Some of them can't, like Julius's whip swing, he's not able to do that. Alright, so on 10, how are we doing this?
Alright, so we're gonna do kind of a variety pack on skips for 10 here.
Oh, okay, are we gonna go like for elevator and stuff like that, or whatever?
Sure. What do you want to do, Kai?
I'll do opposite elevator. The outside of the elevator.
Sure, we'll make our way towards that. I'm gonna actually take off my beef curry.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do a narrow angle, I guess. Okay.
Alright, so I'm going for the elevator, I guess. Yeah. Are you gonna try doing the Johnny zip on the purple chest?
I'm gonna try to narrow angle, that's all.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna try to do a similar skip to what was happening with the Puppet Master, but I'm gonna do it with just a normal character, not with Soma. Pretty much any character can do that acceleration zip as long as they have a dive kick. If they do not have a dive kick, then they cannot, which means, well, somebody like, say,
Yoko.
Charlotte or Yoko is kind of out of luck.
They can if they're falling far enough. You just basically got to get into a slide animation. But for
I got it pretty much immediately, which is nice.
nice.
So he
Top
just started
tier.
the boss. Just like how we zipped up there with Soma.
It's okay, I have
Maybe.
Berserker Mail on. I'm gonna die here. I forgot to take it off.
Gee, thanks, Turbo.
Yep, there we go. This is why I don't do Berserker Mail in certain games. I get to play dodge things with the skeleton.
You have to play Ultimate Gradius.
Easy game, easy life.
So yeah, this
So I
is.
guess I could talk about how you dodge in this. When he opens his cake, do a small hop. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was just mentioning that we're going through all the stages as like Castlevania 1. Like this is stage 2 with a Medusa head and stuff like that. So if you
I got stoned.
for the original game, yeah,
So did
it's
you.
kind of nice to have a retro stage based on the whole entire thing.
Yeah, it really is a shame that this game didn't take off, I think, as much as Konami planned. But then again, I don't know if Konami was planned to go more into this. Like, we usually joke inside of the server about potential characters that could have came out. Like, I still think, like, a Contra stage would have been fantastic. Could have had, like, Bill or Lance
Yeah.
as one of the characters.
So one of the things I'm doing right now is the infamous elevator skip, using a Puppet Master to start your acceleration. Puppet Master is amazing if you're on an elevator and you have good falling speed. It'll just basically throw you right into the acceleration. And then you just
Meanwhile,
gotta
I'm on
jump
the
near the
other
top.
All right, how we doing over here, guys?
We're doing good. We can stop anytime, really.
All right, perfect. I'm pretty much all set up to get a runner. So,
They need to finish.
I'm
we
dead.
Need to see if we get. We need to see if we get the towel +1.
Yeah, I'll open the switch for you then, Kai.
Why did you aggro a bat?
I aggroed a bat. And then he wasn't very nice to me.
I noticed.
Here, you can revive me. Shh.
I'm working on that.
Come on.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, and there's your bat friend.
Get out of the book!
I'm not in the book.
I was. This game is stupid. Okay, start running. I hate that bat.
I'd like to mention this is probably the longest I've ever stayed alive. Can Stretcher the count as a skeleton?
yeah, most people just die right away.
R the count is the ultimate firebender, dude.
Alright. So yeah, taking that elevator, we skip all the way to the final stage.
Ooh, I made a mistake. I've got to equip Final Guard. Whatever.
It's almost like you guys played the stage like normal.
Barely.
Yeah, there's still, what, like 4 more bosses that we could have killed?
Yeah, there's definitely a community of people that are like, hey, you know, play it inbounds and stuff. And there are some really cool inbounds runs, but like, I don't know about you, but when I've killed Retro the Count probably about 2,500 times, I don't really want to play the stage again.
It's all about the farming, right? That's last boss drop's all that matters.
I can't do this chat Lantern's doing because I don't have Final.
Yeah, Final Guard lets you ignore all damage. You can time it, so if you just even tap it, you'll still get one or a couple frames.
I noticed. Thanks, Lantern.
You're welcome.
You have a potion, by the way.
I know. Do you need it? Oh, you do need it. There. So yeah, the way potions work in this game is that they can actually spread to other players. So it's nice you can heal everyone. Feather boots. Alright, let's
Not so great.
crash it.
Alright, so let's go ahead and wrap it up here pretty soon here.
All right.
You guys want to
Crash
give
it?
any shout-outs or anything?
Crash the game.
Sure. Or we can do that.
We'll crash it. Shinoa, Grando, I guess? Or Yoko would be better.
Which one?
Yoko.
I picked my poison already.
Yeah. Make sure you put on your astral ring or whatever you need to put on.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and try to crash the game here real quick as a final. Lightning, right?
Holy Lightning, yeah.
Okay.
Put it on your down or whatever.
Astral Ring.
Defend. It's mana prism. Actually, no,
Good
super
enough.
potion. Yeah, super potion. All right, let's see if we can crash it.
All right, so we're gonna try to crash the game here using just overloading graphics. Usually you would do this with 5 or 6 players, but we'll see what we can do with 3. At the very least, you'll get to see a sweet little lag spike here.
Greatest. Lag also helps with those corner boosts that we were
Who's
using. Zip.
super potioning first?
Oh yeah,
You're up first, Lantern.
Okay, I'll use
Okay.
it first. Okay, mine's out.
Getting. Yeah, I think that's about as much as we're gonna get.
Yeah.
But you can see how much the game is tanking right now.
Go ahead, Kai.
I already did.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all we can do.
But yeah. If you have like 5 or 6 people though, that crashes the game. And yeah, it's pretty funny. But anyway,
It
let's go ahead and
crashes
get out
the
of
game and still plays music. How crazy is that?
here. Any shout outs you guys want to do real quick before we get out of here?
Let's see.
Go first, Lanturn.
Sure. Well, everybody in the Discord, all those people that have been helping me farm and everything, that's been awesome. Yeah, my dog that's right over there. He's been known to say a few things while we've been playing. And yeah, that's about it for me.
My shoutouts are, of course, to the same Discord. They helped me farm a lot of this crap twice because one of my accounts got hacked into and I can't access it anymore. And then secondly, Shugen and Sayo. Shugen for teaching me how to Omnia cancel way better. And Sayo for actually teaching me how to backdash cancel way better. And tearing up my thumbs.
Yeah, he tends to have that effect on people.
Alright, so let's go ahead and move into the next game, which I believe is going to be Sim, right?